Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey. You know what the news is. In a minute, you're going to hear the rest of the story. Now, the rest of the story. Conductor-composer Leonard Bernstein was a genial, broad-minded fellow, especially when it came to music. In fact, he cracked only once, as far as anybody can remember, at a New York Philharmonic concert in the 1960s. Renowned and controversial pianist Glenn Gould was to perform the Brahms D minor piano concerto with the orchestra, Bernstein, of course, conducting. Rehearsal had gone badly. Such was the extremely unconventional tempo that Mr. Gould had chosen for the performance. That is, the robust three-movement Brahms work, which ordinarily comes home in 45 minutes, now was playing in excess of 90 minutes, twice as slowly. And so, only that once in his long and colorful career, a career embracing all kinds of music, performed all kinds of ways, only that once Leonard Bernstein stepped forward and grimly announced to the Philharmonic audience, as a rule, conductor and soloist are interpretive partners in the expression of a concerto, and yet I feel compelled to inform you today that I take no responsibility for the interpretation of the following performance. The snail's pace Brahms D minor that evening was by all accounts a painful experience for Maestro Bernstein, but it was far from the first time that pianist Glenn Gould, living legendary for his eccentricities, had irritated a colleague. Audiences, they loved him, perhaps in part because of his odd-appearing gait on his way to the keyboard and the oriental rug he habitually placed beneath his specially made phone book high piano bench, all of the rest of the weirdness, and yet Glenn Gould was hailed also for some of the most remarkable and remarkably fine piano performances in the history of the instrument. Critics, they sanctimoniously cautioned Gould's admirers that he was playing them. He was patenting the eccentric behavior further to promote himself, and his behavior did seem strange. Often he rocked back and forth hypnotically as he played, humming loudly, even conducting the music to himself with an occasional free hand. Sometimes he wore a hat, gloves, scarf, winter coat in the middle of summer. He'd stop a recital in its tracks if he felt the slightest draft. A handful of close friends confirmed that Gould was a slave to elaborate rituals in his private life as well. Perhaps predictably, he retired from the concert stage in his early 30s, confessing the strain of public performances had battered him from the inside. But whatever battered him continued to take its toll, and Glenn Gould died in 1982. He was only 50. Timothy Maloney, director of the music division of Canada's National Library, says the world might have been more sympathetic had it known as we now know, that the apparently temperamental musician had an actual medical condition, a medical condition which caused his unique and compulsive comportment. It's a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome, often misdiagnosed and manifesting itself later in life. Asperger's presents symptoms which account for all of Gould's behavior, and then some. For Glenn Gould's all-too-brief life was a contrasting portrait of odd, obsessive, and antisocial manner, but also perfect pitch and preternatural power of concentration and photographic memory and exceptionally fine motor skills. Those are the calling cards of Asperger's syndrome: the taker, the giver, the agony, and the ecstasy. Now you know the rest of the story.